when you get a 50 MA on like a higher time frame and a 15 that just crossed and it breaks the 50 and retests the 15. Oh my God! It's the swoopity swoop. And
It's the swoopity swoop.
It just happened on USD CAD, man.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can see it in my head, bro.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's because everyone thinks it's going to continue in that uptrend that it just bought. Like, that's been so massive, and that's fucking incredible. I'm telling you, the swoopity swoop. Hey, the boys are back in town. Boys are back in town.
What is up, everybody? We are on the Trader Society podcast again, and we ain't ever leaving.
Never leaving.
Never leaving.
Never going.
We got Anthony's World, and we got Grant Hardy, both legends. Grant, how you doing, man?
Don't forget to introduce yourself, by the way.
Yeah, what about Derek?
I'm Derek Vandy.
Well, okay, we got Mr. Vandy.
I haven't been on one of these in a little bit, so I'm feeling a little out of it.
We got the legends, and how you doing? My name's Derek Vandy, by the way. I love it.
What are we talking about today, boys?
I was thinking we talk about how the market is set to go against you, like no matter what, like even in the highs and the lows, being in a very negative situation in trades or being in a very positive situation in trades, the market is still out to get you. And I think you need to really like go with that flow and have that in the back of your head. Remember, the market is here to take your money. It's not here to make you money.
Oh, for sure. And that's why so many people just end up gassing out and like, I can't do this anymore.
And it's toxic. And with the industry, especially how toxic it is, like it can be hard. And like, I think that's a really big and important thing.
Now,
also, before we get started, before we get too deep in this, remember, hats are officially dropped. Go to tradersociety.com and look in the merch section. You can get them. And right now, we have free shipping. Only $34.99 for these bad boys. They're comfortable. I'm wearing one. You're wearing one. You're wearing Living Icon, but it's the same brand of hat. Super comfortable, super awesome, super good hats. And for everyone that has purchased one, go ahead into the comments section below and make sure you drop what color that you dropped. And if you have any name recommendation or color recommendations, put it down below as well.
And I do want to say one thing about these hats is like I'm very picky about my hats.
Me too.
And I wear one almost every day because of the fit. That's why we have this fit. It's because they kind of fit everyone, and that's nice.
It is, and make trading great again, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes. Make it great.
Make it great. All right, what were you going to say before?
I cannot remember.
Damn it!
That's all right, though. No, we were emotions and trading and like how it's designed to make you fail. Now, this is a question I wanted to ask you guys. Like, on your come up when you started becoming profitable, do you think it was better for you to be focused on yourself while trading or like with a group or how do you guys feel about that?
I personally think the group aspect for me helped a lot because even like when I was like how we're doing teaching people and stuff like that, and even though I wasn't as profitable as I am now, but teaching people and the way I was teaching people and being involved, like I was with you, we had that one group. It wasn't our group, it was some other group that we were involved in. And then just talking to different traders and getting their perspective on it and on the markets and how they did things, it kind of allowed me to really pick and choose what I wanted almost instead of like just finding because everyone has the Holy Grail. You know, everyone thinks they have the Holy Grail, but there really is no Holy Grail. And for a while, I traded nothing but harmonics, and it was awesome. For a while, I traded nothing but supply and demand. For a while, I traded nothing but trend breaks. But learning all of those things now have put me in a position to where I can experiment still and learn, but also gave me the confidence to be attack the markets and be confident. So I think a group aspect it's just, and not to mention, it's just more fun when you get to talk to somebody about the markets. It's more fun.
Yeah,
you feel that way?
Yes and no. So like with me, I like to find something that works and then just look for that pattern over and over again in the market. So like I like to relay it to basketball, right? Muscle memory. You know, you find something that works, that's your game, that's how you do it. That's what you're looking for in the markets, right? But then markets change. So I like to be since, you know, Trump left office and now we're, you know, Biden's in office and now we're in this high time frame breakouts, right? And so I've changed my strategy a little bit, you know, from how it was. You know, I've been able to combine the two. So I guess I would say once I see something from a group aspect, I'll take it and then, you know, go back into my shell and then apply it there on my own. But like, I don't want to sit, no offense to you guys, and I think y'all feel the same way. Like, I don't want to sit and mark up charts with y'all.
No, I mean, we'll do it like occasionally for fun and stuff like that. But I agree. I don't.
Because it messes with my, like you said, it's all mental and emotional. And I've learned that like trading comes down to being so. Because there's been so many times where like I think I'm right, and then I listen to you, and then I get out, and then it screwed me, or vice versa. You know,
the opinion of someone else can screw you up mentally,
right?
Like honestly, and that's kind of how I feel about it. I feel like there's stages to it, and your learning stages. I think you definitely need a group, or at least like be involved in something that's like making you better, seeing new things in the market, and then once you get something down to the point where like, all right, I've got this down. I'm gonna kind of like, that's when I went into my shell and like really just focused on myself and my trading, and that was pretty much it. And it helped too that like we were in a group, and then all of a sudden I started like, you know what, I've got this figured out. I'm gonna put out a course, and putting out that course helped me times two, just from learning when I built that course. And that's where I think like you just get better with building rapport on your strategy or however you're going to trade.
And I agree with both of what you were saying. What I was more talking about is I actually just like the community of like the mindset aspect of having a community, like people to talk to about the markets.
Definitely.
It's really more of what I like about the community. It's not really like the learning strategies or learning new things. It's learning new things, but learning like, you know, just sitting there back and like talking to people, and they're like telling you what they're going through in the markets, and then you tell them what you're going, like, because it's like,
let's be real, your girl ain't listening to you when you're talking about what UJ's just been buying.
You've seen all those memes where it's like, I think he's over there, he's cheating on me, and he's over there looking at Bitcoin price.
Yeah, right.
And like that's so true.
It is 100% true.
Like I see myself all the time. I'll like be at like 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm over here like scrolling, looking at the charts, and she'll be like, "What are you doing?" And I'll be like, "I'm looking at the charts right now." But and like, so I like that community aspect of like, I just recently created a group where everyone gets to talk, and we have like a few thousand people in there, and it's really cool because so many people are just sharing their ideas, and then people are like, I don't like this, but I like this, and then they're like, someone like told me today, like, oh, well, you should look into this. The reason that oil's going to buy is because of the OPEC, OPEC. They stopped like whatever the fuck it's called, manufacturing
production.
Yeah, by like a lot.
Yeah,
and so it's going to raise because the supply and demand. So it's going to raise the price. And so like for me, knowing that they're doing that now, it allows me to say, okay, I think and I also thought my bias on oil was buy anyways, but now that confirmed my bias. And I wouldn't have probably ever realized that if I wasn't in a group where people were talking about everything about trading, not just the strategy. So now I'm sitting back like, okay, we need to be constantly looking for buys on oil. So like looking for the pullbacks and looking for stuff like that.
That's why I think it's important at points to do technicals with fundamentals. I think that's an important for making you more confident in trade, right? Like when you learn something like that and you're like, oh, well, I saw it that way anyways, I'm just going to go with that because it makes sense.
And I wasn't 100% confident in oil buys because it has been so massively downtrending.
Right.
And so, but like that gave me like that confirmation. And I also think USD CAD is going to start dropping. So like that also gave me confirmation that oil should be starting to rise. And so there's a lot of things like that I really like about the community. I mean, it's always good to have an open ear too, especially in the market.
So I want to add something to that because you're talking about OPEC and how they're like, oh, we need to raise the price because it's going too low, right? So from the first thing you said that markets, you know, they're there to take your money. If that doesn't like prove that they can just control and shift a momentum with one decision of a board meeting, you know, like you have to understand the power behind this, and that it's a lot bigger than you.
It's one big game, man.
Yes. And the crazy thing is in this market is you can be buying and they could be raising prices and you could still lose money.
Yes.
Like, and that's
let's give them a little pullback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good. Throw a big ass wick to the downside.
Yeah.
That's what they did with GU.
Yeah, 100%,
On me,
man.
that's what they did with GU for me.
And that's the
Now it's
hard part
gonna buy.
about.
I was gonna buy for like 3 fucking months. Watch just 3 green candles on the monthly.
Yup.
But it's cool and like I'm a believer in also like when I'm swing trading like I do like use like sometimes lower risk and I have zones that I'll enter and I enter when I'm negative and I enter when I'm positive. But like the way that I enter when I'm negative is way different than when I enter when I'm positive as well.
Definitely
Do you
emotions,
well,
yeah.
not just emotions, but like also like my position size.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you stack differently when you're already in profit or do you ever really stack in trades?
You know, if I stack, it's usually in drawdown. I don't add positions to my winners.
Okay.
And that's usually the only time I will stack. Like if I get into drawdown and I see a better entry, I'm like, oh, that's my entry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'll do
enter
that
it
too.
in.
Now, do you change your lot size on that?
Nope, I stick to my same
Percentage or same lot size?
same lot size.
Okay.
I'd rather go
A fixed lot, yeah.
than- yeah.
See, I typically like I treat it as a new trade, and so like when I'm trading, it's like okay, sometimes like risk, you know, like it depends on what kind of account I'm trading on. Like when I'm trading on the top tier challenge, I will increase my risk in order to make up for that loss
Okay.
because I know my stop loss now is a lot shorter,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot smaller.
Oh,
Because
okay, I
it's
see
still
what you're
my
saying.
Yeah,
stop
whenever you're
loss.
stacking in.
Yeah, when I'm stacking in, because like let's say like if I have a stop, like let's say I'm taking entry off the 50 moving average, but it goes to the 200, and off the 200 it looks better, and I'll be like, oh shit, that was the real entry. So since my risk is still lower to the high, I'll risk a higher percentage. Does that make sense?
100%. And I technically do the same thing. I have a fixed lot, right? But if I see the real entry, if I get some drawdown, I have a rule with myself. Like only right now in this account, I can use up to 90 lots. My first entry is always 30 lots. And if I get a better entry, then I'll stack 2 positions more.
Yeah.
And actually, that's like the only times I've lost on this account is by getting a not great entry. And then on my 2 entries, I'm so far ahead already that I just close out
That loss?
Yeah, and my other 2 already
Oh,
stop in profit.
That's kind of why I risk more too, is because, and I'm still treating it as a trade because I'm only like allowing myself on the challenge to be in a few trades at once. So I'm still risking like the same as I would. I'm just treating that as a completely new trade. And so risking that a little bit more, like I can end up losing a trade, but since I'm in such a bigger position, I can catch like 25 pips and be in
back at
50, 60 pips of drawdown, but still make profit.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that's why it comes down to like understanding what you're doing too, because like I've been in this AJ Wyckoff trade where I've been in profit and have stacked at the levels, but I understand how this thing is falling, right? Versus I don't stack at all really on whenever I trade like my normal, my normal setups. So I think it just depends on, because my typical setups, like there'll be 50, 60, 80 pip wins and no more than usually 25, 30 pips.
That's great.
On the stop loss. Like that's kind of my sweet spot. So like maybe I'll get one more position in if I see that it's pushing down or pushing up, and I can get back in for the buy or sell, right? But other than that, other than this Wyckoff, I really haven't. I don't stack much.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, there's some people that like add positions as it does the different market cycles, and that's great. That's just not how I taught myself how to do it, and there's nothing wrong with doing it that way.
Now, what about stacking when you're in profit? Because I stack when I'm in profit, especially like I just stacked in UCAD. So I got in a higher position. And then when it hit the 15 on the daily, I ended up closing my my sell, and then it rose up, and when it retested that trend line, I stacked in again, and then it broke, a micro trend line again, and then I stacked in heavier on the lower position because I still oversee it dropping for a while. So like I stacked in heavier, but I was already in profit, and so like for me, like I'm up like 70 pips on the one position, and now I'm up like only like 5 or 10, but I'm not going to allow myself to lose more than that profit I'm already up.
That makes sense. And you have your technique of how you do that, right? Yeah. And for me, like, I think it's just different because when I enter, it's usually at like a lower high, and then the first sight of like confluence going against me, I'm usually out of that trade.
Now, whenever you go for your confluence against you, are you looking at that same time frame that you based your entry off of, or are you going in on lower time frames? Because I've seen before where I enter off an hour, 4 hour, but then I go into the 15-minute, and I'm like, this thing is about to rise hard against me, and I should get out.
Yeah, so it's that same way. Like if there's a area, like I'll go through all the time frames, and if there's an area where I'm like, oh, okay, this pattern is telling me it is going to drop, doesn't matter what time frame it is, I'll usually exit my trade. It actually happened on USD, or maybe it was Euro CHF last night. I was in buys, and I saw in the 15-minute, had a massive shark fin going against me, and I had my take profit up a little bit higher. I think I want to say like 20 pips. It got to the point, and I saw that big shark fin. I was like, I'm not going to risk 20 pips, like to get an extra 20 pips when I already pretty much know that this thing's going to go against me, and it could continue to fall against me and go back to my entry.
Right.
So I just exited it. And that's just how I've kind of done it myself, because I feel like I do read reversals pretty well, like where the market's going to reverse. Like it's probably my strongest suit in my trading. And so I saw that it did drop, and it actually ended up coming up to my take profit, but like I was going to sleep and I just wasn't trying to deal with it. Yeah. And so I'm not going to risk it.
I feel that. No, I've another thing that I've been like playing with too, and it's been working really well for me the last like week and a half, 2 weeks, is before I was like always like so worried about getting like the higher time frame perfect entry that it kind of caused me to go in some drawdown sometimes. But what I've noticed is like right now, like I'm actually like waiting for like the reversal to happen, and then I'm catching the draw, then I'm catching entries like when it pulls back, and like UCAD's like right now.
Yeah.
Like I caught a good entry. I'm in UJ right now, and I'm still taking those trades, but like I'm in UJ right now, and I think I'm up like only like 25, 30 pips right now, but my stop's in profit. I was only risking 35 pips. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with taking this entry. But like watching it break major trends and then start to head down, instead of trying to like, I mean, I'm trying to catch a great entry, but I'm trying to catch a entry that is like already showing me what it's going to continue to do, instead of like trying to catch the very, very high on like the daily or the weekly. Because that's what I tried to do with GU, is I tried to catch the all-time low, and then the market humbled me again, and it showed me like, hey, just to let you know, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And send a
all-time
fucking
low means there's gonna be a new low soon.
right? Send a fucking massive fucking stupid size wick down to the low, and now it's gonna rise.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Trading has put me through a little, not like trading itself, but just like being involved in trading has put me through an emotional journey the last, like, I would say like month.
Well, you kind of put it all on the line right there, and that was I probably like, I don't know, just like a learning experience for you.
Oh,
I mean, nothing you haven't been through before, but like with everyone watching and stuff, it's more emotional.
It was definitely more emotional, and the thing is I started off strong too. I started off really, really strong, and so it was really like an emotional like pull. And so like I took some time off from the account a little bit, and I'm fucking making like 15% of my other account this week. And so I'm just going to build back the confidence, and then I'm going to go back and rebuild the account
and that's one of the things you have to like. When you take a big loss like that, no matter how experienced you are, it's still mental. Like you know what you did wrong.
Oh, 100%.
But it's still mental, and it still messes with you because it's the last thing you did in the market.
And you're like, fuck.
And then you start to second guess yourself, even if you've seen this happen 1,000 times.
And that's why like I went to like this week only placing standards. I went to only placing standards this week instead of, 50, 60, 70, 80 to 100 lots. I'm only placing standards. But I'm building my confidence back, and I'm still making really good money.
Yeah.
Like this week, I think like on a regulated broker, I'll like right now I'm up 12 or 13 grand this week already.
Wow.
And only using standards. And
really good.
And I am in some trades that if they play out, I should probably cash another 10 or 15.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, so like it's that like really built my confidence back. But sometimes you have to do that. Like I had to do that. Even like the position that I'm in with trading, like I had to take a step back. And honestly, like I just took one setup this week, 15 moving average, crossing the 50 or 200 or 800 with support after a shark fin, following the direction and following the trend. and that's literally all
really
I took this
simple.
week, and that's
Just going
all
with
I
it.
took this week. And I had a solid 8 trades that hit like fucking money, like 10 pips drawdown, 15 pips drawdown, 100 pips, 100 pip plus trades.
I love that. Now, do you think there's a benefit to having, like, for me, example, I have my 3 to 4 setups that I take over and over again, compared to, like, I feel like you kind of take more, anything you see is what you're kind of your motto.
Yeah, I do. A lot of times I am taking that anything that I see, which I think is good and bad. I think it's good to take anything you see, especially because when you're right, like like my intuition sometimes when I'm trading, like it's fucking on point.
Mm-hmm.
But then like I realized that like I'm not, like my mental's a little off right now, and so like my intuition wasn't as good. So I just went back to like, okay, this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule, and now it's gonna bring my confidence back, which is also gonna bring my intuition back, and which is also gonna make me a better trader.
And I feel like with you, Grant, like this last couple of weeks have been like some of your best trading weeks due to the fact that like this was a setup,
Right.
and so that gives you more confidence in stacking in and doing what you're doing. And that's why I like, and I will preach it forever, is like having specific setups.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think trading is one of the most stressful things that you can do. Like,
Besides have kids.
besides have kids. Yes.
Besides have kids.
Yes. I might take the cake.
Now trying to be a trader and have kids?
Yeah.
You're
So,
fucked.
right. So,
try to be a stay-at-home dad with your kids and trade. Sorry.
impossible. No, but so I think it's extremely stressful, and one reason why I really like what I'm doing with the Wyckoff setups, and you will take 10 trades a year. I think that's where I'm at with this.
Less is more. I'm gonna always say it.
Like, I really like staying up late, 3-4 nights a week doing London, and like it's gonna kill me fast one day. It's gonna catch up, and then trying to wake up and take care of a baby, and then this and all the responsibilities, and like I really just want to get to a point where I take these higher time frame Wyckoff setups, and that's it.
At a very
I
like
like that.
good risk, and you can make good money because
Yeah.
they pay off. I think the risk to reward is like insane.
It's ridiculous.
And
Like,
so you can even if you risk 5%, you're gonna make 50%.
more than that. If
So-
you can stack in right, because once they go and go and go and go and go.
That's cool. I like that. So I just I hooked up my FX book, and I wanted to see how I did with the account. And it's been, I think, a little over 3 months since I've been trading this account. And I've taken 42 positions with like a 94% win rate, and this is including stacking into trades. So there's probably actually maybe 20 trades that I've taken, maybe a little bit more, but the point of that is that it's all my setups that I take, and that I think that's just huge. Having because the market can do anything, but when you see things that are visually something that you remember or has happened before, I think that just gives you more confidence and makes it less emotional, less of your mind needs to be involved. Because when you're confident in a trade and it's going with you, like that just builds your confidence overall.
Yeah.
But don't let it get you greedy or cocky, because it will exploit any sort of emotion that you have.
I've done that.
It does it.
I've been in positive positions and been like on US 30, heavy profit, 60, 70 grand, and be like, this looks like a good time to stack in. And I'll stack in like 3 times what my original position was, and then end up losing 20 grand. And you're like, fuck, US 30, God. And so, but like my one of my really good setups right now is the swoopity swoop. I'm actually serious. Like I know, like I make fun of it.
You should
but, like,
trademark that.
I want to, the swoopity swoop. But I'm telling you, there's like after like a big divergence on like weekly structure or something like that, and it breaks like a trend line. You ever notice like it'll break like the 50 moving average, and then it'll come back and retest like the 50, but it's like just barely broke the 50,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, everyone's like, oh my God, it's going to go back above the 50 moving average and it's going to continue to rise. And then it just free falls. It's like not even a 23.6 retracement on the fibs. That's the swoopity swoop. I'm telling you, that's what I've been trading. It's just grab that. And that's why I like the 15 moving average, because when you get a 50 MA on like a higher time frame and a 15 that just crossed and it breaks the 50 and retests the 15, oh my God, it's the swoopity swoop. And
it's the swoopity swoop.
It just happened on USD CAD, man.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can see it in my head, bro.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's because everyone thinks it's going to continue in that uptrend that it just bought, like that's been so massive, and that's fucking incredible. I'm telling you, the swoopity swoop. We're gonna put that on a shirt.
No, I really love that. And I know exactly that pattern. It comes after divergence, and when I recognize it, it will always come up to that above the 50, hit one of the top Bollinger Bands that I trade with, and then come back down and do exactly what you said it's gonna do.
Yep.
And it happens all the time.
And you just see those patterns, and this comes with time and experience, though. Like, I mean, we've all been looking at the charts a lot for a long time.
Just pattern recognition.
It really is, man. And I tested so high in pattern recognition.
Same as he said, of basketball. It's just it kind of is muscle memory.
Yeah.
Like I think it's eyes. Like what can your eyes see, and how many times have you seen it?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of like when Michael Jordan was up at the free throw line and somebody was giving him shit, and
who was it?
Michael Jordan.
And he looks at him and shuts his eyes and just. That was so sick. During a game, bro, you know how much confidence you gotta have? Like, bro. You Michael Jordan, dog. I love it.
I love that, man. It's all about confidence. I feel like going into the market with like that like Mamba mentality.
If you would have missed it, no one would have remembered. Like whatever.
That's also where the balls come in. You just gotta have balls sometime to do some crazy shit.
You do, man.
You gotta have the balls with
the
fuck it button. I love that. Well, guys, tell us if you liked this educational side of it more, or if you like the mindset, or if you like it both, if you like a mixture of both, what we should be doing. Please make sure you are putting that in the comments section below and sharing this with everybody, because we want to make sure we touch on all topics to help you all, because we're all 3 different traders. We're all doing something a little bit different in the markets, and we're all experiencing a lot in life and just with trading and having fun. So we want to make sure that we cover all bases for you guys.
Yes,
for sure,
100%.
So that's keep letting us know.
That's the goal of it all, is just us being us, and then we get to tell the people or teach the people what we've been through, because we've all been through different trading scenarios, and it's something that I think anyone can learn from. Especially if you're watching this, you're probably just in your trading journey and trying to figure it out and do better. And I don't know. I think we can help with that, because we've all been there.
I wish I had a podcast like this to listen to.
Ooh,
when I started trading. I wish I had all the trading resources that
you guys share it. Let's blow this up.
That's what I'm saying. Let's get this. And we got to start doing the vlogs.
Yeah. Yes. And that is one thing, though. There was a comment you made earlier. You said you stacked in to a position and you were in deep profit, and then you added to your position size like way more than your first position. I think that is one of the things that will absolutely, like, if you're in profit, you're feeling good about this trade, like, either go lower than your first position if you're going to stack in, or the same size, because that can really mess you up if it does go against you.
Yes. As long as you don't go too heavy. Like, I personally believe in going heavier, because I do, but not as heavy as I did. I mean, I went from like 1 standard to like 6.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Like, that's a way different like scenario. Like, I'm saying like if you're in profit, like let's say you're in profit $1,000, and your second entry is only going to risk 500. Well, then you should be using a bigger lot size. They only risk 500, and then as long as you're risking 500. And by the time the market goes up, they meet in the middle, and you're going to break even.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm treating it like it's like a new position that's like inside of the same position, that's going to make where we capitalize on the big move and make a lot of money, or break even.
I like that. See, now that's your system of like, you've got that figured out where you know where to put your stop loss
sometimes.
to get it.
I do sometimes. Sometimes I do not. Sometimes I do not. I love it. Well, let's keep it going. Mr. Ty is giving us the hand, saying we got it.
All right.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the notification bell, because they are dropped every Friday morning. I'm going to put everyone on the spot real quick. Granny, you got 7 words of wisdom.
7 words of wisdom. Oh man, you did put me on the spot. If you're right when you're trading, you're
fucked. You got 1 word.
Close.
I love it. What about you? It really doesn't have to be 7 words. Just a tip. Quick tip.
Is just a tip on life, and this is something that I've learned. You got to be there for others, but the thing you can't do is leave yourself behind. You have to put yourself first, and that's, I think, huge. And
I love that. I love
to
that.
lead means others are behind you, and you are first.
If
you're leading, then you're first.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what you have to do. My tip of life is just go seize the day. Seize every day. Do whatever it is, 3 to 5 things that you need to accomplish.
Carpe diem, is that what that is?
Yeah. Seize the fucking day.
I love it.
Go for it. Like, go for it all and do it with moderate risk. Do it with moderate risk and have fun and enjoy life while you're doing it all.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
Trader Society out. Peace.